Trucks flying through the night, NASCAR dreams within our sight. Asphalt heroes in the fight, peacemakers gaming light so bright. Revving it up, feel the pace, speed hounds in the race. Feel the thrill, feel the chase, victory is our holy place. Throttle down, no time to waste, in this high-octane haste. Every corner, every taste leads us closer to first place. Under lights, the engines scream, this is more than just a dream. Through the asphalt like a beam, racers' hearts with fervor gleam. In this game we find our might, push the pedal like the night. With each lap our spirits flight, racing on with all our might. Trucks flying through the night, NASCAR dreams within our sight. Asphalt heroes in the fight, peacemakers gaming light so bright. Revving it up, feel the pace, speed hounds in the race. Feel the thrill, feel the chase, victory is our holy place. Thrill the place, thrill the place. Throttle down, no time to waste, in this high-octane haste. Feel the thrill, feel the chase, victory is our holy place. Throttle down, no time to waste, in this high-octane haste. Every corner, every taste leads us closer to first place. Throttle down, no time to waste, in this high-octane haste. In this high-octane haste, every corner, every taste leads us closer to first place. Under lights, the engines scream, this is more than just a dream. Through the asphalt like a beam, racers' hearts with fervor gleam. In this game we find our might, push the pedal like the night. With each lap our spirits flight, racing on with all our might. All our might. Thrill the place. Thrill the place.
Oh! Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rock and roll here this evening with the always amazing Michael's Warrior Project Truck Series powered by HCK Beagles, Ridge Powersports, Ranger Creative Concepts, and KR Gutters, and all of our other amazing sponsors. As these drivers are ready to rock and roll, they are ready to go to battle here this evening from the beautiful Iowa Speedway. Iowa Speedway, the home of these drivers here this evening, man. This is going to be a good show and a great race, right from the drop of the green flag right down to the checkered flag here this evening. Could be a little bit of a wild race, could be a bit of a wild card style of an evening here for these drivers, or it could potentially be a very fun door-to-door, elbows up racing non-stop all evening long kind of action, and we're ready for it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in. If you haven't already, make sure you guys do us a favor, smash that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button, become part of the Peacemaker family here today as we get ready to set the field. These drivers are ready to rock and roll. They are ready to go to battle as they are down pit road and ready to roll off here in just a couple more seconds. And starting on the pole in the number 5 ride, that is the HendrickCars.com machine of Nicholas Snyder, to his outside. That's the 45 of Chris Gilbert. Starting in position number 3 in the Napa Auto Parts number 16, that is Nick Gardner, to his outside. In the 77, that is Brandon Deming. Starting in the 5th position, that is the 18 of Jacob Group, who's outside in the Winker Nation Muleburger Custom Homes number 42. That is Kevin Winker. Starting in position number 7 in the Sparkle and Shine Anything EC number 15. That is Michael Madden, who is outside in the 33. It's another Sparkle and Shine machine. That is Nathan Nixon there. So Michael Madden, Nathan Nixon bringing up row number 4. Row number 5 is going to look like this. The number 75, that is Bobby Blair, Robert Blair in the Ridge Powersports. KR Gutters number 75 right. He's got Dennis Steele in the Helveline 28 right to his outside, rounding out our top 10. And then we see Brett Summers and that 2 right of Daniel Dow bringing up row number 11 on the Speedway. Actually, that's row number 6 on the Speedway. The 13th, 14th position being held right now by a pair of Ridge Powersports rides. That is Ryan Peterson and Jeremy Lucy. Then we see Austin Gustafson in the Little Caesars Mountain Dew number 9 ride. They're in that 15th position to his outside. Another KR Gutters Ridge Powersports ride. That is Kyle Van Tassel. And then we see Jonathan Herbert, the 20 ride of Jason LePan, our top 18 here on the Speedway, ready to rock and roll, ready to go to battle here this evening. Oh man, this is going to be another good show, another good race. These drivers are ready to rock and roll here this evening from Iowa Speedway. We are missing out on a few of our drivers. Our thoughts and prayers go out to them and everybody that was affected there by Hurricane Helena. Hopefully everyone is A-okay and safe. Things can be replaced, but people cannot be. So we're hoping that everyone is A-okay here, and the loss of life is down to a very minimum, and we find more and more people. But we're going to go green flag racing nonetheless here on the evening as the green flag quickly out in the air for the 5 ride of Nicholas Snyder. Snyder down low. You see the 45 trying to roll that middle lane, just trying to get the big run off the corner, and he's going to find it. That's exactly what he was looking for. So Snyder and Gilbert door to door down into quarter number 3. Nice and easy out of quarter number 4. They'll drag race back to the start finish line. It's going to be a close one, but I do believe Chris Gilbert with the outside lane advantage here early on in the race is going to lead lap number 1. Now you see that 5 right gonna fall in line here as the outside lane so far showing some dominance here, and already Chris Gilbert able to use that outside lane early in this race to take the early race lead away from Nicholas Snyder. Here comes that 16 of Nick Gardner. He's gonna use the outside lane. He saw what that 45 ride was doing, rolling the center of the corner and getting some great drive off, in the 16 of Nick Gardner will jump up into position number 2. Kevin Winker trying to follow right on through, already up a couple spots here early in this race. In the 42 right, Kevin Winker looking to slide from 6 up the 3rd here, as down the front straightaway scrubs that outside fence just ever so slightly, keeps that truck pointing in the right direction though, and he will move into position number 3 on the Speedway. Snyder falls back to 4th here, so our pole sitter moving backwards, but potentially could be the smarter move. Maybe using less tire, maybe trying to keep some tire underneath of that 5 truck for later in this run, and maybe using that inside lane, protecting his equipment just a little bit more than what it's like rolling that outside groove. As now you see Brandon DeMay gonna try to roll around his outside, as we do see Jeremy Lucy after making a green flag pit stop here, a pass-through penalty. Same with the 33 of Nathan Nixon. They're both gonna go a lap down here. Same with that 15 of Michael Madden. Kyle Van Tassel is the last driver, I do believe, on the lead lap right now, as Madden, Nixon, Lucy all 1 lap down now on the Speedway. So a tough break there for those 3 competitors, but early enough in this race that they can try to battle back from that, but they gotta just hope maybe for a couple quick caution flags here to try to get those lucky dogs or wave arounds back in front of our race leaders and back onto the lead lap here this evening. As Nicholas Snyder, our pole sitter, continuing to slide farther and farther backwards here, now finds himself here in that 5th position. That's the lap down number 33, and Nathan Nixon back there behind him, but he's back into that 5th spot on the Speedway. Jacob Group down a spot early on in that Michaels Warrior Project number 18 ride, as he rolls in that 6th position. Robert Blair there in 7th with Dennis Steele in the 8th position. Daniel Down back here in position number 9 in Brett Summers in the Boston Web Marketing number 7 machine, rounding out our top 10 here on the Speedway. Austin Gustafson there in 11 with Jonathan Herbert there in 12. Jason LePan, the other Michaels Warrior Project ride out there on the Speedway in that 13th position, with Ryan Peterson back in the 14th spot, and Kyle Van Tassel rounding out our top 15 and our lead lap drivers here this evening. As out in front, Nick Gardner is going to be able to jump up and take this race lead away. Gardner able to make that move around Chris Gilbert. Let's take a look back and see what happened here. As he's just going to use that outside lane once again. Using the outside lane, gets a big run. The 45 ride moves down the racetrack and gives up that spot. And the 16 machine early in this race will jump to the race lead here in this one. So move Nick Gardner to the point as Chris Gilbert right there behind him. Kevin Winker back there in third, trying to hold off Brandon Domingue, as Domingue trying to use that inside lane, trying to find a run around the 42 with Kevin Winker out there on the Speedway. Nicholas Snyder back in that 5th spot as our pole sitter in the HendrickCars.com ride. Unfortunately sliding backwards here, but the best battle on that racetrack right now still between this 42 ride of Kevin Winker and Brandon Domingue. Domingue down low trying to get these big runs as we'll jump on board here with the 77 for a lap around Iowa Speedway. As he's going to take us down into corner number 1, nice and easy. Going to kind of roll off the throttle and slowly pick it back up here on corner exit. Is this big run down the straightaway. You start to see that 42 ride pulling away from the 77 ride as well. So I'm not sure if maybe that inside lane just early on, maybe just using less tire up, maybe trying to save a little bit of grip, a little bit of life in that right rear, or one of those, maybe that right front tire here early in this run. So to wait and see how it's going to play out. If we start to see these drivers go into that 40 lap area, 50 lap area, 60 lap area before they have to start coming down pit side, what are they going to be able to do? How are their trucks going to be handling? Who's going to have the best truck in a 50 lap green flag run? 15 laps, I do believe, would still be considered a short run here, so we're starting to get into that little bit of a mid green flag run, and you're starting to see our race leader in that 16 pull away now from that 45 of Chris Gilbert. So that 45 machine, unfortunately, maybe sliding backwards, and out in front, Nick Gardner looking to pull away more and more and more. The truck right there behind him. That is the first truck 1 lap down. Michael Madden had to make that pass-through penalty here in that 15. He's looking fast, though. He's looking very good out there on the Speedway. He's now been able to pass our third and second place drivers, and he's going after our race leader, looking to see if he can try to put himself back onto the lead lap here, even with, just being a lap down truck, trying to race up here, trying to race himself back onto the lead lap, and not even worrying about trying to get a lucky dog or anything else. And he's there. He's on the back bumper of our race leader, as Tower Operator coming in showing the love, says hashtag Winker Nation. Winker Nation coming in showing the big love here in this one. Janelle coming in as well, says let's go Team HP Motorsports. Hashtag Ridge Power Sports. Hashtag KR Gutters. Yes, ma'am. Hashtag Ridge Power Sports. Hashtag KR Gutters. Pair of our amazing sponsors here on the series, and a sponsor of the HP Motorsports team. And there's a lot of them out there on the Speedway. They continuously keep getting more and more and more. They keep on getting bigger and better. And man, oh man, you see a pair of them right here. That is Robert Blair. Robert Blair is still on the lead lap, unfortunately, for the 76 of Jeremy Lucy. He is a lap down here on the Speedway, but Blair currently running in that 7th position. You can see the speed out of the 76 could be up here in that 8th spot, running with these guys at the front of the field right now himself. But unfortunately, having that pass-through penalty early in this race, finds himself a lap down, just like Michael Madden, just like that 33 and Nathan Nixon. Both those drivers also have to make those pass-through penalties, and both find themselves down a lap here early on as well. As we do see Kevin Winker, he was able to jump up and make the move around Chris Gilbert. So move Winker into position number 2. Chris Gilbert back to 3rd now. Brandon Domingue there in 4th, still trying to figure out maybe if he can can get a way around that 45 ride to move himself up inside the top 3. Jacob Grube was able to work himself around our pole sitter, the number 5 ride, out there on the speedway. So Nicholas Snyder sliding back to position number 6 here on the speedway. He may be at risk of sliding even farther back, as here comes Bobby Blair in that 75 ride, trying to hunt him down, trying to roll up inside the top 5 for the 75 ride. Daniel Dow back there in position number 8 on the speedway. Austin Gustafson in that Mountain Dew number 9 machine, the Little Caesars Napa Auto Parts 9 ride, rolling here in that 9th position, as Brett Summers right there behind him, rounding out our top 10. Jason LePan, Jonathan Herbert, Dennis Steele, our top 13 here on the speedway, with Ryan Peterson and Kyle Van Tassel. Our top 15, and our top 15 are the lead lap cars here on the speedway. Is unfortunately, actually, we're going to count Michael Madden. Unfortunately, he was battling, looking to try to take that lap back, and actually looks like he's able to get it. Nick Gardner sliding backwards now ferociously, as the 16 ride looks like he's gotten up into the outside fence ever so slightly. A little bit of right front damage here on that 16 truck. Kevin Winker's been able to find a way around him, and so hasn't that number 15 of Michael Madden. So Madden back onto the lead lap. He's got his Rev Racing teammate right there behind him. This is our race leader, our new race leader here on the evening, Kevin Winker, there in the top spot now, as Nick Gardner rolling in position number 2, trying to keep hold of it, as 33 ride, luckily enough, a lap down car of Nathan Nixon, but right there is that 77 of Brandon Deming. Jacob Grube, Nicholas Snyder, all right there is the 45 right. Chris Gilbert sliding backwards here, pretty good here himself. Went from about that 2nd spot, now all the way back to the 6th position, has Bobby Blair right there behind him. So a few drivers starting to feel that little bit of pain right now, man. That tire fall off maybe starting to become more and more visible here, as the lap times have fallen off by almost a full second here for a lot of these drivers. Almost a second out there on the speedway between their best lap times early in the race and, you know, their last lap times here going across the line. These guys have, you know, almost a second slower, so you can tell how much the tire wear is going to play a major effect in this race. We're 25 laps through this race, and we're already seeing that second fall off. We hit that 50 lap green flag run area, you know, we're looking at 2-3 seconds of fall off, so we can get really into the thick of things here with strategy-wise. Do you come down pit road early? Do you try to use those fresh tires to your advantage, or do you wait a little bit longer? Roll out there for a little bit. You give up a lot on the early portion of the run, but on the longer run, again, you'll be able to gain all that time back up. It's a little bit of love and take on that situation. You can really advance yourself forward, but you can really fall back the longer a green flag run is. If you come down early, you could get trapped a lap or two behind if you see a caution flag come out. So there's always those big risks being, you know, jumping down and making some of these strategy calls. And all these drivers, they've had the calculators rolling. They kind of have some of these strategies already played out in their heads or written down on a notepad from what they've done here before. So it's going to be interesting to see who's going to be able to hit that strategy perfectly, who's going to be able to push their car to the limit and possibly find their way into victory lane here this evening. Whether or not it's through, you know, running good hard laps out there on the racetrack early, or, you know, waiting, saving some equipment, saving those tires longer in these runs and trying to extend the runs, and maybe keeping these drivers from coming down pit road early if they're looking at you, seeing if you're going to be that driver to come down pit side or not. So these guys are doing a fantastic job out there on the racetrack. Huge shout out to each and every one of these drivers, man, doing a fantastic job. We're already 30 laps into this race, caution free. It's been easy breezy racing here this evening, and these guys have been putting on one heck of a show for us, man. So a huge shout out to each and every one of these drivers. So huge shout out to them, as man, these guys put on a good show. We'll take a look here in a second and get a look in at Kevin Winkers. We got Kevin Winker with the driver webcam as well, so we can get a really good look at what he's doing behind the wheel in the cockpit and how he's, you know, rolling out there on the speedway. So let's see if we can get a good look here, a good shot at Mr. Winker here in behind the wheel of this number 42 machine at the front of the field, as he's rolling out there on the racetrack, put on a pretty good show right now. You can see him up there in that webcam. You know, you get a good look at the vibes he's got rolling. You can see him sitting there in that gaming chair, kind of just, you know, sitting back, relaxed, just hitting his marks, but he is absolutely zeroed in, focused up here for this race. Let's make him a little bit bigger there. You can see him there on the left-hand side of the webcam. He's got that, you know, corner webcam hookup, which is a really cool, unique perspective here at what Winker's doing out there on the racetrack. You can see that monitor setup, you can see the rig setup, you can see all the racing memorabilia and gear that's, you know, hung up around the walls and everything else to really give you how much these drivers immerse themselves in the feeling of being at the speedway or being, you know, in control of these rides. So they got to make sure that you know, they can feel it good and they can run good. And right now Winker's showing us that he's got one of the badass setups, and he is currently looking like he's got a badass setup out there on the racetrack as well, as this 42 ride continues to lead the way. But slowly but surely, these other drivers catching back up to his rear bumper. He hasn't been able to really pull away, about 0.4 of a second between himself and that number 16 of Nick Gardner. So Gardner right there behind him, just trying to keep him right there within striking distance, not really letting him get away with it, as he'll jump on board with this 42 machine. You get a good look here from the front of this truck. You see that 15 of Michael Madden. You see the 16 ride. Actually, it's the 13 ride of Kyle Van Tassel right there. Kyle Van Tassel, Michael Madden, both of these competitors about to see our race leader roll up onto him. Unfortunately for Kyle, he's at risk of going a lap down right now. Michael Madden able to roll himself around our race leaders to put himself on the lead lap and now go around that 13 ride. So Van Tassel will slide back to the first truck, one lap down out there on the speedway, as everybody else back here in tow in that 33 ride of Nathan Nixon. He's right there ready to pounce as well. He's looking to stay as that one driver. The first one lap down, as he's working to the outside now, already went around Kyle Van Tassel's tassel. Quickly slid back through this pack, as you can throw a blanket over these guys. Still up inside, you know, the top 8 out there on the speedway. The top 8, a lot of these lap down drivers out here, these guys are still within, you know, just a couple seconds of each other out there on the racetrack, and they've been putting on a great show and a great race here for us. There's a less than 2 seconds right now between our 8th place driver and our race leader on the speedway. And here you go, Kevin Winker, going to be one of those first drivers. Oh no, I thought he was coming down pit road, does not make it down pit side. Now I don't know if that's a mistake or if that was something planned for the 42 ride. Doesn't look like he gets loose, doesn't look like he loses the handling of this 42. Looks like he's planning on making this hard left-hand turn down pit road, and I think he just misses it here. I think he comes in a little bit too hot, a little bit too much speed. He does hit that commitment cone. He locks it up. He's sliding down through the asphalt there. Realizes that he can't make it down pit lane and without a clean entry, and just keeps that truck rolling out there on the speedway. So tough break right there for our race leader, but we do now see them coming down pit side. We do see Brent Summers down pit road. We see Kevin Winker down pit side. Here comes Dennis Steele as well. Nathan Nixon down pit road in the 33. So a lot of these drivers using that early pit stop strategy. Is out in front. Nicholas Snyder able to jump up, take this race lead away. So the 5 ride, the HendrickCars.com machine, coming on strong late in this run. Everybody else starting to fall off a little bit. We saw this 5 ride, you know, early on in this race, you know, just use that inside lane, roll around the bottom of the speedway, not trying to use too much of this tire up. And here he is a little bit later on, starting to try to open up a bit of a lead, starting to put down some great lap times here. He was able to work himself back around Jacob Grube, Chris Gilbert, Nick Gardner, Brandon Deming, and he was right there behind Kevin Winker as Winker came down pit road. Here we go, Nick Gardner now going to make that hard left-hand turn here himself. Going with the whole head of steam right there. Hopefully no pit road penalties here. This is a racetrack where you do not want to have a pit road penalty. If you're going to sit down on your pit box for, you know, 30 seconds, a minute, or something like that due to a pit road penalty issue, you know, you're going down a lap, 2 laps, maybe even 3 laps out there on the speedway. Or if you have to make another pass-through penalty, again, you're losing a lap easily, maybe even 2, having to make that trip down pit road, as here comes a big slew of drivers. Here comes our race leader, Nicholas Snyder, Jacob Grew, Brandon DeMang, Robert Blair, Austin Gustafson, Jason LePan, all coming down pit road here at the same time, as Chris Gilbert still staying out there on the speedway. Looks like he may roll around for one additional lap. Now he'll make his way down on pit road. Same with that 15 of Michael Madden. Madden trying to stay on the lead lap here all the evening. Went down a lap early, having to make that pass-through penalty. Was able to race his way back onto the lead lap, but those race leaders were right there behind him. He wasn't able to really pull away from them, so we'll have to wait and see if maybe a little pitch strategy, maybe a little fresher tire may potentially put him into a position as out in front. Potentially going to be this 42 rider, Kevin Winker, but I think Winker's paying that price of missing pit stall here. And it looks like Brett Summers is going to come out of this with the race lead, unless if Chris Gilbert can get out onto the racetrack here quick enough. Does not look like he will. So Brett Summers will make that pass, and he will jump to the race lead. So Summers into the top spot here on the speedway. The Boston Web Marketing number 7 right now leads the way. Nick Gardner in that 5 rider. Nicholas Snyder door-to-door here for position number 2 is Jacob Grube back there in position number 4. That mistake out of the 42 of Kevin Winker now finds himself here in that 5th position on the speedway. Brandon Meng there in 6. Chris Gilbert back in 7th. Robert Blair in that 8th position with Jason LePan. Austin Gustafson rounding out our top 10 here on the speedway. Jonathan Herbert, Dennis Steele, our top 12 with Nathan Nixon, Michael Madden, as Madden goes around off the racetrack here though. He's down low, he's on the apron, he's going to get rolling here once again. No caution flag here on the speedway. So no caution flag, we keep it clean and green, and a tough break right there for the Sparkle and Shine Anything EC number 15 of Michael Madden, as he was trying to battle back here again, trying to stay on the lead lap, or trying to stay as that first driver one lap down. He now finds himself a little farther back here in that area here, as I do believe Nathan Nixon is back on the lead lap with his pitch strategy. Jeremy Lucy, the first driver, one lap down out there on the speedway. So Michael Matt a little farther back away from him. He's going to have to try to hunt him down, see if he can work himself into that lucky dog spot here on the racetrack. Is out in front, able to make a couple moves. Brett Summers slides backwards here. Now into that 3rd spot, at risk of going back to 4th here is Nicholas Snyder. Nick Gardner and Jacob Grube all going around that 7 machine. So the Boston Web Marketing ride, a Brett Summers sliding backwards. Ashana Rita coming in, showing the love, says hashtag Winker Nation. Cheering on Mr. Winker out there on the speedway. Now we do see Brandon Meng running into some issues here as well. Him and Kevin Winker, the Muehlberger Custom Homes ride, coming off of corner number 4. Make a little contact. The 77 down through the grass here on the front straightaway, able to rejoin the field, back up off the apron here. No caution flag. He keeps on rolling, but unfortunately does lose quite a few positions right there, and a lot of track positioning out there on the speedway as well. So a tough break right there for Brandon DeMang, as out in front, Nicholas Snyder trying to hold him off, trying to keep this 5 ride at the front of the field, man. These guys have been doing a great job, as we now see over 50 laps. Says, yo, got a short pack tonight. Yeah, short pack tonight. 18 cars. I know there was a lot of drivers that unfortunately had issues with the Hurricane Helena that came through, that has left them without power or without internet, and maybe just trying to lend a helping hand to all their neighbors and everything else, and not being able to get onto the simulator, man. And our hearts and prayers go to everybody affected there from the hurricane, whether you're in North Carolina, Georgia, all the Florida, all the places, man. There were so many places that I heard that got absolutely decimated from Hurricane Helena, man. And our hearts and prayers are with you guys, man. Hopefully everyone is safe, and hopefully everyone part of the Peacemaker family is A-okay, and everyone else that's not a part of the Peacemaker family is also found okay and in good health and safe. And hopefully, things can be repaired, but people cannot be replaced. So we're just hoping for the best outcome for everybody. And there's already been a pretty staggering death toll, which is absolutely heartbreaking, man. And our hearts and prayers go to all the family members that were affected or lost a loved one during the hurricane. Brutal, brutal. Yeah, that makes sense. It makes sense, Dimitri. It does, brother. Unfortunately, West North Carolina got absolutely destroyed. Unfortunately, yeah, man. There's so many places that unfortunately just got absolutely destroyed. So much damage, so much carnage, and so many people, once again left without, power or normal necessities, or can't even get into their houses or anything else, as still waiting for water levels to kind of recede and everything, man. But so much destruction, man. It's so brutal, so bad, and brutal, brutal, brutal. Absolutely heartbreaking. But yeah, other than that, I mean, these guys, they still wanted to race. I do believe we took last week off because of it. I do believe, if I'm not mistaken. Did we race last week, or did we still do it? I can't remember if we did or not. I know for a couple of the other series, yes, last week we ended up having cancellations because of the hurricane and everything else, which was totally fine with me, man. iRacing always comes second to the personal safety and the safety of friends and family and everything else, and letting people hand and whatever else, man. iRacing can always take a back step to that. So I was surprised even when we were racing tonight in this, with the amount of guys that I know that were affected by it, man. I was quite surprised that we were still running tonight. But hey, you know what, we're paid to be here, and we're going to put on the best show that we can. So our hearts and prayers again go to all the family members and everyone affected. I know a couple of the guys affected here, just in our league. I know the man with the plan, the master man himself here in the series, Gregory Turner. He said he's probably going to be like 4 weeks, 6 weeks without power, stuff like that. So like, that's absolutely wild that it's gonna be like that. And same with Frank Ranger. We're missing Frank tonight as well, another one of the drivers. As yeah, definitely tough, man. It's tough. South Mississippi knows the feeling all too well. Friends for Pets intends to raise some funds to send some relief to animal shelters in that area. There's tons of programs, Cajun armies gathering supplies and donations to send that way. 6 weeks, wow, yeah, 6 weeks. The last I read on the Discord that he was giving us updates on is, yeah, he's going to be probably, closer to, that 4, 5, 6 weeks without power. So that's absolutely wild. And our hearts and minds and everything else go to Greg. He was able to hop in earlier and drop a message. He said he drives to town once a day. He drives to town once a day and is able to check his cell phone. So at least he's able to do that. But I mean, we might have to try to throw on some sort of a benefit race, man. There's so much bad things going on in the world right now, man. It's so tough. It's so tough to do. And honestly, the economies on both sides of the border are absolutely decimated right now too, so it's not making things any easier on the people, man. And definitely a crappy time is out in front. Let's get back to a little bit of the racing out here on the Speedway. And Sean's Detail coming in, showing the love with the like on the stream. How are you, Sean? Sean coming in, showing the love here this evening as Nicholas Snyder out in front, leading the way. Jacob Grube in position number 2, looking strong here on this second green flag run with this little bit of fresher tires out there, as drivers were able to make those green flag pit stops and kind of reset themselves out here on the Speedway, maybe make some changes. We do see the 45 of Chris Gilbert starting to make some moves here. He's worked himself now back around Nick Garner and Brett Summers and Kevin Winker, so he's on the move back to the front of the field here in that Jags number 45 ride. We do see Nick Gardner slide back here to the 4th position as Brett Summers trying to hang on to position number 5, but he's got Kevin Winker and Brandon Domingue right there together. We did see Domingue and Winker come together not too long ago right here at a corner number 4. We saw that 77 ride have to go for a bit of a slide down through the grass here. Looks like we may have another driver going through a slide through the grass right there as well. That's the 33 ride of Nathan Nixon, and there's our first caution flag on the day. Our first caution flag is going to be displayed here is Nathan Nixon gonna go around off the Speedway here, and as he rolls back on it, so he's a lap down driver trying to battle his way back onto the lead lap. He slides up in front of the 18 ride of Jacob Grube. Grube gets underneath of him, kind of lightens up that rear end, helps him go around as they go sliding down through the grass here. The 33 ride comes to a stop, and as he's virtually sideways on the speedway and stop there, that's where the caution flag will come out. So our first yellow flag of the day. Nathan Nixon goes for a wild ride here down the front straightaway. Let's see if we can jump on board here with this number 33 here. Watch him go for this ride down and through the grass on the front straightaway. Yeah, there's not a whole lot he can do right there. Ooh, baby! Luckily enough, everyone else able to stay out of contact, stay out of any of the carnage and any more damage out there. So things, for the most part, were fairly easy, fairly quick cleanup as drivers will go down pit side. This will get everyone back pretty much onto the same strategy out there on the speedway coming down pit road. You know, we'll have to just wait and see if drivers put on tires or if they try to play a little bit of more strategy game. Maybe they put on 2 tires, 4 tires, maybe just fuel only. We'll have to wait and see what these guys think of doing. It looks like everyone's going to try to get jacked up here and put some fresh slicks on their rides. As Dimitri says, at least we got some racing to help take our minds off it. Exactly, brother. We got some racing. We got some racing. I've been playing this TCG trading cards simulator, and it's been a blast. It's been a lot of fun. I don't know. It feeds my gambling addiction at the same time as, you know, just maybe making a little content and have a little fun. And we've been playing it all day before we hopped on for the broadcast, and it's a bit of a blast, man. And the time just flies by like crazy. We streamed it last night. I planned on hopping on for, you know, an hour or two streaming it, and all of a sudden, before I knew it, we were, you know, almost 5 hours into a trading card simulator stream, which was absolutely wild. But it was a lot of fun. As Dimitri says, I'm not a Tar Heels fan, but that 77 truck looks clean. Laugh out loud. Yeah, the 77 ride always looks clean, man. That like baby blue color, it just absolutely man. It looks very, very nice. Hashtag go Duke, go Duke, go Duke. Absolutely. As we'll get them stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to Green Flag Racing here. Let's get a quick word in here from our sponsors over at Rangers Creative Designs.
I feel like I'm afraid. I feel like I'm afraid to say how I feel, to know I let you down. 'Cause late nights turn to days, don't wanna let you down. With each breath we give away, it'll never be the same. I'm chasing somebody who won't ever ease the pain, but I don't want half of your heart. You can have it back if it's only half of your heart. If it's only half of your heart. I feel like I'm afraid.
Alrighty, as we'll get ready to rock and roll, we'll get ready to go back to Green Flag Racing as Brandon Noah says, hashtag Winker Nation. How are you, Brandon? Brandon coming in, showing the big glove here in this one as these drivers are ready to go to battle. They're ready to duke it out here again. We saw almost 70 laps of Green Flag Racing, just about 65, 66 laps of Green Flag Racing here. On that first run, we saw one set of Green Flag pit stops, but now things kind of bounce back out. Drivers stacked back up together. Everyone's kind of on the same playing field here on pit strategy, so we'll have to wait and see how this next, what do we got, 60 laps left, 65 laps of racing action left here this evening, so maybe another Green Flag run brings us right down to our checkered flag. Alrighty, it's the pace truck. Gonna make that hard left-hand turn back down pit road as we get ready to go back to green flag racing down through the Geico restart zone. The 5 ride of Nicholas Snyder back onto the loud pedal, looking to try to pull this 5 machine away from the rest of the field. Jacob Grube gonna try to hang on to position number 2 as he's got that 42 of Kevin Winker all over his back bumper. The 45 of Chris Gilbert down on the inside, looking to try to roll around the 42 and the 18 as they go 3 wide here down Iowa Speedway, front straightaway. Out at corner number 4 there, a little 3 wide racing for these NASCAR trucks, the Michaels Warrior Project Truck Series here this evening, putting on one absolutely amazing show for us. As here comes that baby blue number 77 ride, the Duke machine of Brandon DeMing. They're in position number 5, Austin Gustafson. They're in position number 6 with Brett Summers. They're in 7th. Robert Blair in position number 8, Jonathan Herbert and Nick Gardner rounding out our top 10 here on the Speedway. Dennis Steele back there in 11th. Then we see Jason LePan, Daniel Dow, our top 13 with Michael Madden there in the 14th position. Nathan Nixon there in the 15th spot, and Jeremy Lucy rounding out our top 16 here on the Speedway. Kyle Van Tassel now the first driver, 1 lap down out there on the racetrack, and Ryan Peterson right there with him, a couple laps down there on the Ridge Powersports KR Gutters HCK Beagles number 469 ride, bringing up the rear of the field here in this one. It's out in front. It's Nicholas Snyder who continues to lead the way. Grube, Winker, Gilbert trying to hunt him down here in this one as we're going to jump into a quick Peacemaker Gaming. Crank it up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, crank up that volume and cheer on your favorite driver as we crank it up here this evening. So crank up that volume and cheer these drivers on. Alrighty, as these drivers putting on one absolutely amazing show here for us. A beautiful crank it up session right there is out in front. Leading the way is the Michaels Warrior Project number 18. It's Jacob Grube here at the front of the field showing these drivers how to get it done here this evening. Right there behind him, that is one of our left down cars, the 15 rider Michael Madden. Still trying to rebound from earlier in the day, but you see those fresh tires from a pit stop just moments ago, and the 15 ride will get at least one of his laps back here this evening, as a bunch of these Sparkle and Shine Anything EC machines have been having a rough go here this evening. We saw Nathan Nixon go around to bring up that first caution flag. He also had that pass-through penalty early in this race. Then we also saw the 15 of Michael Madden have that pass-through penalty early on the evening as well. So a couple drivers running into issues early on in this race. Even though that stuff happened early, they've had time to try to rebound. We saw them work themselves back onto the lead lap there during that caution break, and unfortunately not coming down pit side, trying to use that wave around the pace car. They did not come down pit side, so they have the short pit here basically this run, so they're down pit side a lot earlier than what we normally would see our race leaders. Is now we're starting to see those race leaders head down pit road. Jacob Grube headed down pit side. Here comes Jason LePan. We'll have to wait and see when the rest of the field decides that it's time to come down pit side, as we are over 100 laps into this race. We are getting closer and closer to that checkered flag here. Is less than 35 laps left to go here. This time across the line, it's going to be 33 laps till we see that checkered flag fly. And out in front, now leading the way once again, it's that 5 ride of Nicholas Snyder. So Snyder out in front, Chris Gilbert there in second, Kevin Winker rolling there in that 3rd spot on the speedway. Brandon Ming there in 4th with Robert Blair, Jonathan Herbert, Nick Gardner, and Dennis Steele are top 8 here on the speedway, there, as Dennis Steele there in the 8th position. Austin Gustafson in the 9th spot in the 9 ride. Jeremy Lucy rolling there in position number 10. He was lucky enough in that first and only caution flag that we've had so far that the 76 was able to get that free pass to the lucky dog back onto the lead lap here. He was able to get fuel, able to get those tires, so he hasn't had to make that additional pit stop here like we've already seen with Nathan Nixon and Michael Madden. And unfortunately for them, that has put them way back here. And we saw, early on, Jacob Grube making that pit stop. Unfortunately, same time, the 20 ride of Jason LePan came down pit road, so he's a little faster than some of these other drivers out there, but I'm not sure if he had a pit road speeding penalty. I do believe he ended up having to make another trip down pit side here for Jason LePan. So unfortunately for LePan, 2 trips down pit road, and that may put him out of contention here this evening. Is the 45, Chris Gilbert, coming down pit side. Here comes Austin Gustafson into his pit box as well for the Little Caesars Mountain Dew Napa Auto Parts number 9 ride, possibly making his final pit stop here on the evening. As out in front, continue to lead the way, it is Nicholas Snyder. Here comes the 77 rider, Brandon Domingue. So this is where we're getting back into that stage here. Do you come down pit road a little early? Do you make those early pit stops? Do you stay out a little bit later? Do you try to keep on rolling out here and maybe have those fresher tires later on in this run, where if we see a late race caution flag or if we see something pop up, they're going to have that extra fuel, that extra little bit of grip and tire in their back pocket to try to steamroll around and back to the front of the field, as my boy Dimitri coming and setting it off with the 99 star dono coming in to show the big love. Says raise hell, praise Dale. Yes, Sirski, you know it. Yes, sir. Raise hell and praise Dale for certain. Dimitri, I appreciate that, brother, coming in with the 99 star dono, coming in, setting it off here in this one. I appreciate that, brother, coming in, showing the big love here in this one, as the big D of the day so far over there on the Facebook broadcast. I appreciate that, my dude, coming in, showing the big love. As out in front, Nicholas Snyder finally looks like he's going to make that hard left-hand turn down pit road. So here we go, Snyder down pit side. Robert Blair will pick up that race lead. So Blair is now our race leader here. Looks like he's going to try to extend this little bit of a run even longer. Same with the 87 of Jonathan Herbert, the 28 of Dennis Steele. All staying out here a little longer. Same with Jeremy Lucy, as we did see Jacob Grube, one of those first drivers down pit side. It's looking like he is going to potentially pick up this race lead, but Brett Summers came down even earlier than what we saw that number 18 ride come down pit side, and you can see the tire fall off already. When we saw this 7 ride come down pit side, it had to be 5-8 laps earlier there during our crank it up. He came down pit road where it was quite a while afterwards. We saw Jacob Grube come down pit side. He was able to use those French tires to leapfrog and get in front of the 18 of Jacob Grube, but you can see the tire fall off is absolutely hurting this number 7 ride right now. It's down across the line. You know, Brett Summers ran a 24.48. Jacob Grube ran a 24.19, and he's tracking him down in a quick hurry. Here we go. Jonathan Herbert, Jeremy Lucy, down pit side. Dennis Steele down, still on the speedway here, but we did see Robert Blair the lap before come down pit road. So right now, there you go. The Halvoline 28 ride will make that pass through as well, so he'll go down into pit lane here in what could be the final pit stop here on the evening. And you do see that battle for what will be our race lead. Jacob Grube going around the 7 ride of Brett Summers. So Summers back into position number 2. The strategy really not working out so much right now for the 7 ride. We'll have to wait and see how this one plays out. If he can get back across the line and still keep himself within the top 5, could potentially be a big play here for that 7 ride, as he's got a little bit of a gap now back to the 5 ride here of Nicholas Snyder. Is there Snyder? He came down pit road quite a bit later, so Jacob Grube running 24-second lap times. Our 3rd place driver right now in that 5 machine last time by ran a 23.65, so almost, you know, 4/10 faster than what our race leader is right now, and he's only got a 4-second lead and 20 laps left to go. I'm not sure how this is going to work out for Jacob Grube. He's just got to hope that the tires kind of fall off. Drivers start to balance out a little bit here throughout some point in this final run where he can try to hold these guys off, keep them back there behind him, but I got a sneaky suspicion that 5 ride of Nicholas Snyder, the 42 of Kevin Winker, the 77 of Brandon DeMing, they're going to be reeling down that 18 to 7 ride in a quick hurry, and all depends on how much they get held up here. If the 18 throws some blocks or anything else, how much we can bunch this field together in an instant here, as you see Brandon DeMing, Kevin Winker kind of right there with each other. Nicholas Snyder not too far in front of them, and then you see them already starting to catch up to this 7 ride of Brett Summers. Summers is already becoming a next target here for that 5 ride of Nicholas Snyder. And Jacob Grube, he's trying to pull away from that 7 ride. He's trying to put as much distance as he can between himself and that 3rd place driver Nicholas Snyder, but that lead is shrinking. A couple laps ago it was 4 seconds. It's now down below 3 seconds here, so the lead is evaporating here for Jacob Grube. Well, the big question is going to be, is he trying to hang on a little bit? Maybe trying to save some tires here. Maybe he's trying to play this cat and mouse game with that 57, making the 57, trying to hunt him down, run really fast laps, maybe burn up his equipment by the time he gets to the 18 ride. Maybe the tires will be a little bit more balanced. Maybe the 18, who's taking it easy right now, may have some extra tire left over where maybe he'll be faster than that number 5 ride if we can catch him here. So lots of different strategies, lots of different runs that these drivers can play here, and that comes with this strategy game here in racing or iRacing, and man, it is a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. No fuel, everyone's going to make it on fuel, so we don't have to worry about fuel mileage here per se, but the tire strategy, the pit strategy, oh so important. Is now you see that 469 rider Ryan Peterson trying to get around our race leader here, trying to get a lap back, and right there for a split second you could see our 3rd place driver, who's now our 2nd place driver, Nicholas Snyder, catching up to our race leader. The lead is now a second, 1.6 seconds, almost a second and a half now, is down into the corner. Seems like the 5 ride can really get good runs in and then kind of hold steady down the straightaways here, but still being consistently faster than our race leader. Last time around, he was 3/10 quicker than Jacob Grube. So that's just showing you how much time he is gaining on this 18 ride. So it's going to be a wild race to the finish right here to see who's going to be able to put themselves into the Iowa victory lane here this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you guys are enjoying the show, if you guys are enjoying the racing action, make sure you hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button. As man, oh man, oh man, these guys are putting on one absolutely amazing show for us here this evening. Jacob Grube out in front, Nicholas Snyder there in second, Kevin Winker a little farther back in position number 3, Brandon Domingue there in position number 4. Brent Summers trying to hang on to that 5th spot on the speedway, but Robert Blair, who's staying out even longer, is rolling here in position number 6 on the speedway. Jason LePan there in 7th, Austin Gustafson rolling there in 8th. Michael Madden in the 9th spot with Dennis Steele rounding out our top 10 here on the racetrack. Jeremy Lucy, Nick Gardner, our top 12 with Jonathan Herbert, Daniel Dow, Nathan Nixon, Ryan Peterson, Kyle Van Tassel, Chris Gilbert, our top 18 here on the racetrack. As unfortunately for Chris Gilbert, we saw Gilbert leaving laps early in this race. Looked like he had a very, very strong run going here. I'm not sure what's wrong with that 45 ride, but he's been down pit road for quite a little while, and I do believe he is possibly going to stay down there for the rest of this race, as that truck, unfortunately, many laps down here where I don't think he's going to gain anything other than maybe a little experience or a little fun jumping back out onto the speedway. But here you go. You see that battle at the front of the field starting to heat up a little bit more as the 5 rider Nicholas Snyder starting to catch up to the back bumper of our race leaders down across the line. We only got 10 more laps left to go. 10 more laps here in this one as Penny L says go Nader, and Rob from NC78 coming in. What's good, Rob? Rob coming in, showing the big love here in this one. Says, what's up? What's up, Rob? How are you, my dude? How are you today? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful, wonderful Tuesday here, man. And hopefully everyone is A-okay with you and the family, with the hurricane passing through NC and everything else. Hopefully you're doing good, brother. As you see this race lead evaporating lap by lap by lap. And only 9 more laps left to go here. It's going to get close. It's going to get interesting. Nicholas Snyder clearly can't catch him, clearly has the speed, but can Jacob Grube try to make this truck maybe 2, 3, 4 lines wide and keep this 5 right back there behind him? Maybe try to make some big slide jump moves, maybe battle with them door to door, hope that the tires kind of balance off, or maybe make that 5 right, make a mistake out there on the speedway, or, you know, maybe just trying to throw some big blocks, keep them at bay. But I don't know how, if he's going to be able to do that, as he's just going to roll the outside lane. He's able to keep the lead here down across the line with 7 more laps left to go. But you see that 5 right, he is there. He is on the back bumper of our race leader, Jacob Grube. Grube trying to hold them back here as much as he can, as they got about a 2.5 second lead here between themselves and our 3rd place finisher, Kevin Winker. As here you go, the 5 right down low. They're going to go door to door down across the line. Grube with the outside momentum, able to hang on to that race lead, but the 5 rider Nicholas Snyder looking to take it away. Can he clear him this time out of corner number 2? He's going to be able to do it. He clears him, but here comes a crossover. Does the 18 shoot it down low? No, the big block out of the 5 ride, as Nicholas Snyder is going to take this race lead away. Is down across the line. They get the big high five here from our flagman. 5 more laps of racing action here this evening as the 5 machine. Nicholas Snyder out in front, Jacob Grube there in second, Kevin Winker back in third, Brandon Domingue there in position number 4, and Bobby Blair, Robert Blair, rolling there in that 5th position. Brett Summers, Jason LePan, Austin Gustafson, Dennis Steele, and Jeremy Lucy rounding out our top 10 here on the Speedway. As Nicholas Snyder out in front, able to chase down our race leader late in this race, make the moves, and put himself here at the front of the field. some late race action here in this one as these drivers, man, have been putting on one absolutely amazing show for us here this evening. And Johnny Thunders, my boy Johnny, coming in with that heart reaction. Nelson Johns coming in with that like on the stream as well. Once again, huge shout out to my boy Dimitri Curtis coming in with the 99-star dono just moments ago as well. Huge shout out there to my boy Dimitri as out in front, leading the way here in this one. Nicholas Snyder down in out of quarter number 4. He will see 2 more laps left to go. Now, he's just trying to race back here to that start-finish line. He wants to see this white flag fly badly. If a caution flag comes out, these drivers are probably going to be bound to come down pit side where anything can happen, and then it's anyone's game in a green-white checkered run. So he's just looking for that white flag down at a quarter number 4 and down the Iowa Speedway start-finish line. He will see that white flag fly. So one more time around for the HendrickCars.com number 5 ride of Nicholas Snyder. Snyder down at a corner number 2 will lead us down the back straightaway here for the final time at Iowa Speedway. The 5 ride into corner number 3. Nice and easy out of corner number 4. It is the 5 machine who's gonna see that checkered flag fly first as the 5 of Nicholas Snyder will find victory lane here at Iowa Speedway. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's get a round of applause here for all these amazing drivers, man. One caution flag throughout this race. Some incredible battles out there on the speedway. A heck of a show and a heck of a race. And we see Nicholas Snyder pick up that checkered flag. Here comes Kevin Winker. Going to give him a congratulations bump there to the back bumper as this 5 machine's going to get ready to burn down the house here in Iowa. What a show, what a race. Some beautiful strategy calls there by a lot of these drivers. And at the end of the day, as the dust settles, here in this one, the 5 ride, up and in victory lane. A shout out here again for Nicholas Snyder picking up the dub. A great run there by Jacob Grube coming home in second, and Kevin Winker coming home in position number 3 here this evening. Is Rob from NC. Mr. Rob coming in says, unfortunately still on travel, but here to support my people. Let's go. Let's go, LLR. You got this. Brandon Deming with a good run. Got up inside the top 5 right there as Friends for Pets with the checkered flag. Rob says, would rather be on track with everyone than sitting here in DC. I can only imagine. I can only imagine, Trench. 100% is. Dimitri says, what's up, Trench? Back in the seat next week. And he says, it should be. That's, hey, we love to hear that. We love to hear that, Rob. We love to hear that, Trench. We want to see you back in the racer seat. We want to see you back in action here on a weekly basis, man. We don't want to see you missing these races or too many more, brother. We miss you out there on the speedway. We need to see that Friends for Pets ride out there on the speedway. As Rob says, great race. Great job, Mr. Snyder. Yeah, great run right there by Nicholas, man. He put on a heck of a show and a heck of a race for us here in this one, man. And very number 5 HendrickCars.com alike here. You know, that was a pretty solid final run. That was very Kyle Larson-ish out there on the speedway, man. A lot of very good speed, a lot of great patience there, and being able to jump up and take that win away from Jacob Grube late in this race. As we'll get ready to pull our top 3 up into the broadcast booth here for some post-race interviews here. As driver's going to jump in. We do see K-Dub in there. We'll have to wait and see if we can get Nicholas Snyder up here into the booth. Trying to see if we can find him here in the Discord or not. I don't really see him in there. A lot of the N's in there for Nicholas or Nick or any of these other guys. They're all just with an N, and it's driving me crazy. I'm not sure who is who out there on the racetrack. Oh man, that just makes it tough. We'll have to wait until we see him jump into the booth. Okay, there we go. We might see him now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, our race winner, Nicholas Snyder here. Give another round of applause here for Mr. Snyder as he picks up the win here this evening. Hey, Nicholas, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. They get a copy?
Yes, sir.
Nick, man, a great run and a great race here in this one for you, man. We saw you lead some laps. We saw you start on the pole and, slide backwards early in this race trying to save some equipment. And then we saw you lead some laps and some green flag pit stops here. A lot of different strategy out there on the speedway. Caution flag about halfway through this race really to kind of balance things back out and kind of put that strategy back into play for the next green flag pit stop, and you're able to time it perfectly here. You come down pit side a little bit later than Jacob Grube. You got those fresher tires. You got about 4 seconds when you jump back out onto the racetrack to hunt him down, and that's exactly what you did. You hunt him down lap by lap. You click it away, and then you finally get there, and instead of being aggressive, trying to make the pass as quickly as possible, you're just patient there, riding underneath of him, trying to hit your marks, and he's rolling up there on the high side. His tires fading away, and you're able to make that move to jump up, clear him, take this race lead away with about 5 laps left to go, and from that point on, never look back and ran away with it and put yourself up here into victory lane, man. Take us back through this race and what's going through your mind here as you're able to get the win here at Iowa Speedway.
A bunch of different emotions going on right now. I thought I blew it by staying out later. But anyways, at the start of the race, I started on pole, and I just decided to actually take it easier than I thought I could have. Once they kind of started running away from me, I kind of had to pick up the pace and couldn't do that strategy because I'd fall back way too far. And I knew since I saved a lot at the beginning of the race, I knew I would be able to catch them. Unfortunately, it was at the beginning of our pit cycle, and that's not how I wanted to go. But it still paid off in the end, just running a lap longer than most of the people. And uh, I, I'm just really good at getting on the pit road, and I think that's where most of my time is gain is the pit road entry and stuff. Um, just other than that, is just try to be smart. Um, when we had that caution, I didn't want that just because I knew probably my teammate and I, Chris, we were on probably the better strategy. I think him and I had the best long run cars, just because we were able just to move around and not have to wait on the center. But other than that, it was a great race. Great racing with Jacob, even though him and I made a little contact there on that last restart somewhere in the middle of that run. Uh, Anyways, it was great racing with everybody.
Absolutely. A lot of great racing, a lot of elbows up battles out there on the speedway. Is a lot of green flag laps, a good turn of pace here, seeing everyone being able to run some pit strategy and some long green flag battles out there on the racetrack, and it comes down to those final few laps as you hunt down that 18 ride, able to get redemption here, get around him, and put yourself up here into victory lane again this season, man. Nicholas, who would you like to thank for another great run, another great drive, and another checkered flag here on the Michaels Warrior Project Truck Series here this season?
Yeah, I'd just like to thank everybody that took the time out of their Tuesday night to watch the race, and hopefully we put on a great show. Uh, and again, thank you to everybody that we race with. Don't know all the names, but for racing so clean, and it's a hard racing week in and week out, and there's very little cautions, if not none. That just shows you how much the competition is in here. When you can run that hard and not turn somebody, wreck somebody, or other things.
Absolutely good competition, respectful racing out there on the speedway, and it all comes together here for you in this one as you pull yourself up into victory lane. Nicholas, congratulations on the great run, congratulations on the great race, and we can't wait to see you back in action here next Tuesday.
Thank you, sir.
Absolutely, brother. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and don't party too hard down there in victory lane. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up again for our race winner, Nicholas Snyder, as Nicholas picks up the dub and pulls himself up here into victory lane, as we'll get ready to see from the other side of the coin here, the driver that unfortunately lost this race with 5 laps left to go, the 18 Jacob Grube, as we'll get ready to pull Grube up here into the broadcast booth. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for our second place finisher here this evening. Hey, Jacob, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. To get a copy?
Hey, Aaron, I got you.
Jacob, man, a great run and a great race here for you, man. We saw a lot of different strategy, a lot of different runs out there. At certain times, you were the best truck out there on the speedway, but I think that, a little bit of an earlier pit stop, everyone else kind of stayed out a little bit longer, came to hurt you here as Nicholas Snyder was able to hunt you down and take this race lead away with only 5 laps left to go, man. It got to sting a little bit here, but, what's your emotions? What are you thinking right now after this race?
Yeah, mostly just happy, excited. That was a really fun race. That was a great battle with Nick. Hats off to him. He drove a great race. He didn't make any mistakes, and he just had the better strategy. And it was really fun to battle with him tonight. Congrats to him.
Absolutely. A great run, a great race there. Great battles all evening long between these drivers, and only one caution flag for a 135 lap race. Really, put you guys on display, man. Some good green flag runs, some good green flag battles out there on the speedway. And it comes down to, the last, handful of laps out there on the racetrack. You on the older tire strategy, just a few laps, but it was a big difference maker, late in this one as Snyder was able to jump up on top of the wheel, use those fresher tires to get around you, and steal this win away from the 18 machine.
Yeah, that was some good strategy. I was just thinking that I could pit before he would, and I could get the fresher tires sooner, and that would give me the advantage. But as soon as I seen him coming from a couple seconds back, I knew that it was probably going to be inevitable. But I was still going to give him hell on the outside and see if I could maybe hold on. But yeah, it was just couldn't do it. So, but it was a lot of fun.
Absolutely, definitely looked like a lot of fun out there, man. And Jacob, a great run and a great drive here for you. And it's a good point state for you here as well. Obviously, getting a lot of points in that 18 machine, getting a couple steps closer to maybe locking yourself in for the playoffs here in the Michaels Warrior Project Truck Series, man. Who would you like to thank for such a great run and a great drive here tonight in this one?
Yeah, I just want to thank my team for practicing and just thanks to you and the sponsors and especially Michael's Warrior Project. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, brother. It's always our pleasure to put on these shows and watch you guys battle out there on the speedway, especially in races like tonight, man. As that was a lot of fun, a lot of great battles out there, and we appreciate you guys putting on a show for us here, and all the fans in the stands, they appreciate it as well. As Jacob, congrats on the second place run. We can't wait to see you back out there on the speedway next Tuesday.
All right, thanks, Aaron.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up for Jacob Grube. His Grube comes home there in position number 2. A great run and a great drive there for the 18 machine as we'll get ready to pull in our third place finisher. The 42, it's K-Dub, hashtag Winker Nation, coming home here in position number 3. We're going to pull Kevin Winker up here into the broadcast booth right now. Hey, Kevin, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker broadcasting booth. They get a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Cav, man, another good run, another good race here for the 42 machine as you're able to park it up here on the front straightaway, able to pull it up here for a podium finish, man. Take us back through this one. We saw you lead some laps, some different pit strategies. We saw you there on that first green flag pit stop. Looked like you missed pit lane right there. You got in a little bit too hot. You decided not to come down pit road. You had to roll back out there on the speedway for a whole nother lap before making that first green flag pit stop, and I think that really hurt you there for quite a while in this race.
Yeah, that definitely hurt me. It didn't hurt me as much as I thought. I was only about 2 seconds behind the guys when they came out, so luckily that happened. But yeah, I botched that, and I wasn't gonna plow it into the barrel, so I just figured to goose some time and go back around. But I don't really think I had a winning truck anyways tonight. Those a couple of those guys were pretty fast. I know Gardner, 18 to 57, they're all quick. 45, he got a speeding penalty there. But yeah, I think I had, top 3, top 4 truck all night, which I'm happy with. I like this track, but with the update, I think it kind of changed it a little bit, so I still got to figure that out. But overall, another solid night for the 42 machine, stack of pennies going into getting ready for the playoffs here in a couple weeks, and nice podium after our last week's win, so I'll take that.
Absolutely stacking those pennies, getting back-to-back trips up here into the broadcast booth after these amazing races, man. Take us back, kind of through some of the action out there on the speedways. We saw you guys run, a couple very good green flag runs out there on the speedway where we saw, obviously those green flag pit stops, a lot of different pit strategy, and a lot of good battles back and forth out there on the speedway, man. From your perspective, one of the better races of the season, or where would you rank it here so far throughout 8 races here in the Michael's Warrior Project's Truck Series season?
Yeah, it was a fantastic race. This track's pretty tricky, but I mean it has lots of different lines you can run for passing. So I put on a good race. Guys passing back and forth, and I think the top was a little bit more dominant, but you can get that bottom to work if you could roll the center and everything. But overall, I mean, one caution for I think we had 19, 20 trucks. I mean, that's pretty good. I know my teammates weren't too happy about that because they had a bunch of penalties from last week, so they were kind of down from the get-go. But yeah, overall it was a great race and shows the talent that we got in this league, and we can only get better from here. So hopefully next week is even better.
Absolutely, brother, and hopefully we'll see you right back up here in the broadcast booth with Kev, who would you like to thank for such a great run and strong performance here this evening.
Thank you. Yeah, first I want to give a shout out to Greg and Frank and all them guys that are down with the hurricane. I know a couple of them guys got hit pretty hard, so thoughts are with them, and hopefully they can get back with us soon. I know a lot of people in iRacing just in general and all my other leagues were hit too, so thank you to them tonight after all that. And then second, I want to thank my sponsor, Bruce Muehlberger Custom Homes, Cranborn sponsor me in all my leagues. Can't thank him enough. I know he's watching tonight, so shout out to you, Bruce. Got us another podium here, so kind of getting the momentum in the right way. And then all Winker Nation, my girlfriend Shauna, Brandon, Justin, Brett, Nicole, Dylan, Gordon, Travis, whoever else watches and supports me every night. Can't thank you enough. I know I kind of been cut down on the racing lately, but been making the most of it. So shout out to those guys. Shout out to Nate Cogdale at Exonic Graphic Design for the paints. I know he also got affected by the hurricane too, so thank you to him as well. But if you need him when he gets back up and running, check him out for any paints or t-shirts, design, anything like that. All the series sponsors, Michael Warrior Project, Track Dogs, KR Gutters, Ridge Powersports, Ranger Designs. Can't thank none of the guys in there for coming on board and making this season happen. All my boys over at Rev'd. I know it definitely was not the night we were looking for, but luckily I can bring it home in P3, kind of carry the banner for tonight. I know those guys had penalties last week, and once they did the drive through, they were just behind the 8 ball from there with no cautions there. That really didn't help them. Madden actually had a set of tires left. He stretched the fuel, so if we had a late race caution, I think he would have been in the catbird seat. But shout out to them guys, week in, week out, putting the work in. Can't thank them enough. And then shout out to the league admins for putting this on. It's a lot of work, and especially with our leader missing right now, Greg. It's a lot more work on our shoulders, but we'll get it taken care of. And then last but not least, shout out to you for the broadcast. We appreciate it. Without you, we can go back and watch it. So we thank you.
Absolutely, brother. Well, Kev, congrats on the 3rd place run. Congrats on the great finish, and we can't wait to see you back in action next Tuesday. And, hopefully, our prayers and thoughts are with everybody affected from the hurricane that just went through, Hurricane Helena? I think is the hurricane that just went through, man. Absolute devastation across the eastern seaboard, man. There are so many places that got absolutely destroyed, and all of the, people that were affected by it, man. Our hearts and prayers are out with you guys, and hopefully, we can get things fixed and back up and working normally, and hopefully, find any of the missing people. Hopefully, the death toll is not getting higher, and hopefully, no more big hurricanes like that for a long time.
Yeah, that's always sad to see, but you can't control Mother Nature, so you just gotta take the punches and bounce back and come back even stronger. So. Always a good race tonight for everybody to watch, and we'll see if we can go do it Nashville next weekend or next week.
Absolutely, brother. We look forward to seeing you guys out there on the Speedway. Kev, enjoy the rest of your evening. Congrats again on the 3rd place run.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You did. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. that's going to do it for us here in this one, man. A lot of great racing, a lot of good back-and-forth battles out there on the Speedway. These guys put on a heck of a show and a heck of a race here for us in this one. Unfortunately, we're going to call it there on that note, but man, oh man, oh man, what a great run. What a great way to finish off this race here tonight, man. A great close battle back to the line here in this one, and a huge shout out to all these drivers, all these competitors that showed up and showed out and put on a great race here for us. There's only one caution flag through 135 laps of racing action. Absolutely amazing to see. If you guys haven't already, please make sure you guys do us a favor. It's absolutely free to do. Hit the like button, hit the share button, hit that follow and subscribe button if you're watching over on Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube. Make sure you guys become part of the Peacemaker family here today. To everybody that's already came in and shown the love with the likes, the comments, the shares, any of the new followers or subscribers, I appreciate each and every single one of you guys, and I can't wait to see you guys back here tomorrow as we got a double header tomorrow evening. We go back to the dirt track with the mini stocks tomorrow evening, and then we head back to the flat top. I do believe we head to Kansas, wherever NASCAR just raced this past weekend. I believe it was Kansas or something like that. Kentucky, Kansas, one of those racetracks. But we head there for our Slingshot Sim Racing Series here tomorrow night, this Wednesday coming up. So tomorrow evening, a little bit of action on both ends of it, dirt track and asphalt. So make sure you have those bell notifications turned on. That way you never miss it when we go live here on Peacemaker Gaming. But listen, thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for watching. And I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace out, baby. Peace out, ladies and gentlemen. What a run, what a race, what a drive right there, man. That was a lot of fun.
Trucks flying through the night, NASCAR dreams within our sight. Asphalt heroes in the fight, peacemakers gaining light so bright. Revving it up, feel the pace, speed hounds in the race. Feel the thrill, feel the chase, victory is our holy place. Throttle down, no time to waste, in this high-octane haste. Every corner, every taste leads us closer to first place. Under lights, the engines scream, this is more than just a dream. Through the asphalt like a beam, racers' hearts with fervor gleam. In this game we find our might, push the pedal like the night. With each lap our spirits flight, racing on with all our might. Trucks flying through the night, NASCAR dreams within our sight. Asphalt heroes in the fight, peacemakers gaining light so bright. Revving it up, feel the pace, speed hounds in the race. Feel the thrill, feel the chase, victory is our holy place. Thrill the place, thrill the place. Throttle down, no time to waste, in this high-octane haste. Feel the thrill, feel the chase, victory is our holy place. Throttle down, no time to waste, in this high-octane haste. Every corner, every taste leads us closer to first place. Throttle down, no time to waste, in this high-octane haste. In this high-octane haste, every corner, every taste leads us closer to first place. Under lights, the engines scream, this is more than just a dream. Through the asphalt like a beam, racers' hearts with fervor gleam. In this game we find our might, push the pedal like the night. With each lap our spirits flight, racing on with all our might. All our might. flying through the night. NASCAR dreams within our sight. Asphalt heroes in the fight. Peacemakers gaining light so bright. Rev it up, feel the pace.